Welcome, friends. My name is Myra with Farm Fresh Designs 59. Thank you so much for visiting my channel today. I hope that you will find some inspiration as you make DIYs for your home. Please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, and make sure to hit the notifications button so that YouTube will notify you when I upload a new video. So let's go ahead and get started for today. My first project is a ceramic ladies Victorian boot that I thrifted just actually this weekend. And right now what I'm doing is I'm putting Dixie Belle Slick Stick on it. It's a product that it paints out white. And you go ahead and put it on, but it needs to sit overnight to make sure that it bonds well to it. And it's a really good product, and it is well worth the time to use this product and put it on and wait overnight, because it ensures that on a surface like this that's really slick, once you paint over the slick stick, the paint's not going to come off. So it's worth it. The next product I use is Waverly's Ballet Slipper Pink. Now, I'm going to be real honest with you. When I was starting it, I had one idea in my mind, and it quickly became something that I just didn't like. So I started putting the ballet slipper on it. And as I was putting on it, I didn't like it. I just didn't like it at all. And so I thought about maybe just stopping and letting that dry and starting all over again. But no, I thought, well, I'll just go ahead and keep painting it. Put my paintbrush in my mouth for just a second because I'm just sitting there thinking. And I thought, no, I'm just going to do it. Well, I go ahead and paint the whole thing pink. And then my next idea was, I don't really like the pink, so I'm going to let it dry. And then in the morning, I'm going to get up and run to the store and get some crackle medium and put that on it. And then I'm going to paint black over it. And that was kind of where I stood this morning. That was what I was going to do. And so I got up this morning and I looked at it and I kind of fiddled with it, and I was pulling out some different napkins that I could decoupage on it. And I decided I didn't want to do that either. So I thought, I'm just going to stick with the ballet slipper pink. And then my idea was to take some stamps and do some French script stamping on it. So the first thing I did was, I did that, and I pulled out some black StazOn ink. Oh, it was horrible. It just didn't turn out good. It was too bold. So I painted over that. And so that didn't take very long to dry. So then I pulled out a different stamp that was a little bit more flexible, and I used Iron Orchid's Design Stone Gray ink. So I put a French script stamp on one part of the boot, and I liked it, and I thought, oh, this is it. This is what I'm going to do. And then when I tried it again, the stamp just didn't go on really good. And honestly, it looked like a gray blob of ink on there. Oh, so I painted over that. And I thought, what am I going to do? And then I also thought, what would Lisa from Our Shabby Cottage do? And I actually wanted to pick up the phone and say, Lisa, what am I going to do? But I just kept on going. And so I pulled out another napkin that had actually some gray flowers on it. It was actually more of an outline of a flower. So since the ink was not working and the stamps were not working, I thought, well, maybe that will work. So this is the beginning part of what I think I ended up liking. So it's a napkin that I found on Amazon. And this is just one part of it. And they're little gray flowers that are more of an outline of a flower. And as soon as I put it on, I thought, yeah, that's what I like. That's what I was wanting it to look like. I wanted it to be more of an outline, and that kind of mimicked what a stamp would look like without making kind of a mess. So I'm using Deco Art Napkin Decoupage Medium. Some people use DIY liquid patina. This is just another one that you can use. And if you'll notice, yes, I'm messing up. I'm fiddling with it too much and some of the napkin comes off, which is you have to be so, so careful because the napkins are so thin when you use them. But as I'm painting it, there's a part that's kind of muddy. The gray just is not part of the outline of the flower. So I pull out my Cricut weeding tool and sharp on the end. And I thought, well, this might work just a little bit better than using my finger. And I kind of scrape off the parts that I don't like. But I do it really, really easy because it is so, so easy to accidentally pull the whole napkin off. So you can see me just kind of picking at the parts that I don't really like. And that helps a whole bunch. And I'm trying to be so patient so that I don't mess up. Because this has really been a tough project for me so far. And while we're doing this, while you're watching me paint this and get the different napkin pieces on it, I want to give a big shout out to Lisa from Our Shabby Cottage. She mentioned my channel on Saturday and she just said just the sweetest things and encouraged you all to come and subscribe to my channel. And I have been completely overwhelmed with all of the subscribers that have added me to your list of channels that you like to watch. It has just been the sweetest thing to pull it up on YouTube and see that I have more subscribers. And I'm so thankful that she mentioned my channel. I actually met Lisa through YouTube, and she's just become the dearest friend, and I appreciate everything she's done to help me get started and all of her support. And I know that because you have been subscribing to her channel for so long, you love her just as much as I do. So this is the napkin that I was using that has the little gray flowers on it. And the little pink flowers laying off to the left were the original flowers I was going to use. But I didn't like them. They just turned out to be too small. So I start pulling out the pink flowers on this napkin. And what you're seeing is it's a water pen. It's something I used to use when I was making cards and stamping with ink. And you used it for something else. But as I was going through some things in my craft room, I found this pen and I thought, wow, this is perfect for using as a pen to use with water when you try to want to extract different parts of the napkin. So what you're doing is you're painting around a design on the napkin, and you'll see that water kind of spreads out on the napkin, so you have to be kind of easy. And then I like using the water pen because I'm not constantly dipping the brush into like a little bowl of water. Because there might have been one time where I had a bowl of water and I was using just a regular paintbrush to dip in it, and so I could outline a piece on a napkin, and I might have spit the water all over me. I'm just saying that. But yes, it really did happen. So when I found this water pen, I thought, well, this will be a good way to keep me from spilling water all over myself. So I'm not going to bore you with going through this whole process because it took me a really long time to do this. So you can just see the different designs I put on it. I put some designs on the inside. And I'm still not real sure if I'm happy with it completely. Please leave me a comment and tell me what you think. I'm not real sure if I want to try to put some stamps on it, because when I did stamp it, I just couldn't get them to go on this rounded surface. And I even had some stamps that were really flexible. But let me know what you think, because sometimes you get started on a project and if you add too much, then it just looks too busy. So let me know what you think. So here's just different parts of it. I've got the gray flowers on it. I've got the pink flowers on it. I've got some script writing from just a small napkin that I had that was more with Paris, and it had the Eiffel Tower, but I didn't use that part. It was just I used little bits of that napkin as well. but I thought it would be neat to put a little bit on the inside. Now, this is a transfer that I actually found at the Dollar Tree. It's a great transfer, and I'm looking at it because it's got some French script on it, and I want you to tell me what you think. Before I go to the trouble to put that on there, let me know, should I do anything else? Should I try to put some more on this boot or just let it go? But this is one possibility. And every time I go to Dollar Tree, I dig through their stamps and transfers because this is a great transfer and I love it. Okay, so I'm just going to show you a little bit of part of this. This is something I bought at a thrift shop for 50 cents. And I loved it, but there's parts of it I didn't like. So see that bottom part? Well, I'm not going to show you what I did to get that bottom part off because you probably would fuss at me because it was metal and I could have probably hurt myself and I didn't, but I didn't want to show you the mess I made trying to get that bottom part off because I didn't want that bottom part. So after I got that bottom part off, and it was a struggle bus, I painted it Dixie Belle Sea Glass Green. Love that color, and I like that it marries so well with pink. And the first napkin that I was going to use on the boot has some little teeny pink flowers on it. So I had already torn these off of the napkin. So I thought I'd just use them on the top part of the little bird. And if you'll see that little crack in the middle of the bird, yeah, that's when I was trying to get the bottom part off because it was metal and it kind of cracked it up at the top. But look, I put the napkin on top and it hides that crack that I made when I was kind of making a big old mess. But in the end, I really like the way it turned out. But I'm pretty determined when I'm trying to do something, and it makes me mad when I can't, and I'll just keep going at it and keep going at it. So getting the metal part off of that little teeny bird cage, it was tough, and I almost asked my husband to help me, but this happened. I think it was on Saturday night. I was trying to get it off, and he'd already fallen asleep, so I didn't think he would appreciate me waking him up so that he could try to get that metal part off, and I eventually got it off. But it was not pretty at the end, but that's why I painted it and put the napkins up on the top of the little bird. So what I did was I found like a little, it's not really a candle stand, it's like a little riser, and it's ceramic. I can't remember if I found it at Dollar Tree or if I found it at Hobby Lobby. And then I put just a little white round piece of wood, and I didn't even attach the wood to the riser because I may use it for a different time. So that's just, I think sometimes people buy those to put like little cupcakes on it. So I'm not really even going to attach it because I might use it for something else. But that's just a piece of wood that I got at Dollar Tree, and I put some spackle in it to cover up the hole. So I'm just setting that up on top like that. And then I put the little bird cage on top. But I'm not going to put a nest with eggs in it. I'm just going to leave it. It's just something small, but that color looks really good with pink. But I really like the way it turned out. And it was only 50 cents. I always like when things are really inexpensive, and I feel like once I get it all fixed up, it turns out really pretty. And I did use Dixie Belle Sea Glass. So look at those two pieces together. Yes, there is no green in that pink boot, but I just think those two colors do really well together. And in the meantime, I've just put some different flowers inside of that boot because I guess it's like a vase. I don't think I would use it for real flowers. I only would use it for faux flowers. So I'm just kind of pointing out the different pieces that I have decoupaged to the boot. And at the end, you'll see the vinyl reveal as to how it all looks. So those are my first two pieces. And the boot took the longest time of all my pieces today. But let me know what you think. Should I do some more to the boot? or should I just leave it alone? And leave well enough alone, like my mom would always say. But I really like the way that the Birdcage turned out, because it could have really been a fiasco. But thank you all so much for your sweet comments that you've been leaving me on my first 2 videos. It's just amazing, the comments that I've gotten. And I've gotten some really good ideas from y'all. But the comments have just been really encouraging me and letting me know that this is the path that I need to take for right now. And I do really appreciate Lisa and all she's done for me to help me get started on this YouTube channel. So there's the transfer. Let me know what you think. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to decorate a vintage suitcase. Now, I've already painted it white, and because it took so long for the boot, I didn't want to use my time for you to watch me just paint a suitcase white. So this is the Iron Orchid Designs Rose Toile stamp, and I am using stone gray ink on this. So it's been painted. I haven't done anything to the inside of it yet, and I'm not going to right now. But it's stone gray, and so I like the stone gray, especially when you put it with pink, because it's not quite so bright. And when you first get Iron Orchid Design, you get a blank pad, and then you buy the ink separately, and you open it up and spread it on, and use like a popsicle stick to kind of push it into the ink pad, and then you can refill it when it starts getting low and it's not coming up on the stamp a lot. And a lot of times when you stamp with stone gray, it doesn't look like it's coming up on the stamp very much, but I promise you it does. So I've got that stamped up at the top, and this is also an IOD stamp, and I think it's called the Textures. I'm not positive. And this is just one of them. And it looks like it's been cracked a little bit. So I've just kind of randomly stamped it in different spots on the suitcase. And I'm trying to get it all cleaned off right now, so that I try to go ahead and clean my stamps as soon as I use them. But I just stamp it in some different spots. And there were some other stamps that I thought about using, but once I got these 2 on, I just kind of wanted to let it go for right now. Because I did think about using the stamp Kindest Regards, and maybe using a different one, the Bella stamp, with maybe just little corner stamps, but I decided not to. I decided right now it's just better to kind of leave well enough alone. And you're going to see that I take another napkin that I really like, and I'm just about ready to run out on it, and I start using it to decoupage. But it's just an old vintage suitcase that I bought at a little, I think it was a fall antique show in Mount Pleasant, North Carolina. And I've kept it the original color that was a brown for a long time. But I've just kind of used it for different things here and there. And so now I really like it white. And on another video, I will decorate the inside of it and kind of show you how I do that. One of the struggles that I've had when I have decorated suitcases before is I'm not really sure how to put the design on. If you use this design that is a particular design, like maybe an old bicycle with flowers in it, my dilemma has always been, well, which way do you stamp it? If you use it as a riser, you want the design to be facing you. But if you're going to set it up just as decor, then you want the design to go the opposite way. So that was why I used the Rose Toile, because it was just a good basic where flowers are going to look good either way. So this is a napkin that I just love. It's actually a round napkin that's scalloped. And I only have 3 left that came from the original pack. And so I think I may have used just one today. And so what I'm doing is I'm just kind of picking out pieces here and there, and I'm going to decoupage them to the top. And I use that water pen again. Now, if you've not ever decoupaged with a napkin before, remember they come in more than one layer. And I don't show it in this video, but I take a little piece of painter's tape and I put a piece of tape on the top and a little piece on the bottom, and I just kind of really easy pull it away. But sometimes when you're separating the different layers of the napkin, you think that you've gotten to the top, but you haven't. So make sure that when you get to that last layer, you know that it's the last layer because it's real translucent. So this is what the rose toile looks like up on the top. You can see it a little bit more up close. And so I've started decoupaging these napkins on. Now, something that I like to do is to not always have the design just on the front. Sometimes I kind of like to fold it over and put it on the side. I think it just adds a little bit extra to it because people are going to expect you to have it just on the front. But when you fold it over to the side and people are walking in the room and they come up upon it and they see it on the side and they see just that little extra part of something on the side, it just adds something to it. It looks like you've gone to just a little bit more effort than maybe just putting it on at the top. So I'm being really careful, and I'm still using that Deco Art napkin decoupage medium. And I just kind of play with it here and there to see what do I like. I don't want to add too much. And I want to put some down at the bottom and a little bit more up to the top. One of the things that I thought about was maybe putting some molding on it. And I may go back and do that later. But for right now, I think I'm just going to let it go. Now, let me mention this to you. Right now, the suitcase is closed. And if you'll notice, that napkin that I'm getting ready to decoupage is going to go over. It's actually, I'm decoupaging it over the top and the bottom. So what I do is I kind of wait until it dries and I slice it. Okay, so now this is just an old paperback book, tore off the top, painted it white, and here's a little bit of the napkin left over. And that was an antique book that I married it with. Okay, so to keep the video from being too long, let me just go ahead and show you the final result. This is the suitcase opened up, so you're not really seeing a whole lot of how I decorated the suitcase, but I put some pink gingham fabric. I just kind of tucked it inside, and then I had a white lace curtain that I found at a thrift shop that I just kind of laid on the inside. And this is if you want your vignette to have the suitcase open. And so I'm just showing you what it looks like all together. I've got the boot in there, the birdcage in there, and I used some pink seam binding to tie a little bow around that white book. Now, this is what it looks like with the suitcase standing up, and I've got the books laying down, and you can see the decoupage on the side, and that's the two books. And so that's if you want it to look that way. You may want the suitcase to be a riser, or you may want more of the top to show. Just kind of depends on how big your area is and what you want it to look like. And of course, one day you might want it open and have everything on the inside, and the other day you want it kind of leaned up against something. Just kind of depends. But I wanted you to see both ways. And there will come a video where I will show you how to put a new inside to the suitcase, because on some of the suitcases, if they're really old, the insides and fabric is kind of dirty, and sometimes it smells. This one, thank goodness, did not smell, but the inside is not as pretty as I would want it to be. So on another video, I will show you how to fix that. Now, not everybody is going to find a suitcase, but maybe you have a white basket. This is a basket I thrifted forever ago at a yard sale. It's actually a Pottery Barn for Kids basket. So I wanted to give you a different option. Not everybody's going to find a suitcase, but it's easier to find a white basket. But because it's a smaller basket, I just don't think there's enough room to put the boot in it. But that's okay. I just showed it off to the side. So make it be you and what you like. So thank you for hanging in with me today. I know this is a little bit longer video, but I appreciate you watching today. Leave me a comment. Tell me what your favorite part was. Tell me if I should try to put some transfers on that boot. And tell me, do you like the suitcase open or do you like it closed? And do you like vintage suitcases? I really like them because that's what I used when I was a little girl. So thanks again for watching my video today. I will tell you that it will probably be the end of the week before I can put a new video up. I have 2 precious little granddaughters that I keep on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and they are a full-time job. And so I will not have time the next few days to get a video ready. So just make sure you hit that notifications button so that the next one comes up.